The movie begins by introducing us to David, a young man trying to make his way in Miami. David works as a licensed massage therapist, but he is growing increasingly disillusioned with his career, especially the aspect of tending to wealthy, elderly clients. His life has been a series of setbacks and disappointments. He dropped out of college after just one semester, had a falling out with his parents, and struggled to maintain steady employment, having left or been fired from different jobs. David's life then takes a dramatic turn one afternoon at a funeral, where he unexpectedly reunites with Ephraim, his best friend from school days, whom he hasn't seen for years. Ephraim shares his recent experiences of living in Los Angeles with his uncle and working in the arms dealing business. However, things turned sour when his uncle stole money from him, prompting Ephraim to leave and set up his own business, AEYY, back in Miami. While catching up, Ephraim and David find themselves in a dicey situation. They attempt to buy marijuana, but Ephraim is duped by some local thugs. In a bold and reckless response, Ephraim retrieves a machine gun from his car trunk and fires it into the air, frightening everyone away. This shocking display leaves a lasting impression on David. He admires Ephraim's audacity and his refusal to be pushed around, feelings that resonate with David's own frustrations. Intrigued by Ephraim's unconventional line of work, David visits him at his office the following day. There, he witnesses Ephraim's sharpness firsthand, as Ephraim skillfully impersonates an army officer to gather intelligence on his competition. Ephraim's business is not just about selling weapons online, he also secures contracts to sell arms to the US government, a venture that proves to be highly profitable. Ephraim, sensing an opportunity and a bond of friendship, decides to give David an insider's view of his operations. Ephraim introduces David to the government's public website, which lists all military contracts available for bidding. While most companies vie for the large, lucrative contracts, Ephraim focuses on the smaller, often overlooked contracts. He explains to David that even these smaller deals with the Pentagon are worth millions, revealing a world of high stakes and big money in arms dealing. Soon after, the story of David takes a significant turn after a lunch with his friend Ephraim. David returns home to discover that his wife is pregnant. This revelation sends him into a panic, as he feels utterly unprepared to support a family. Despite his and Iz's strong anti-war stance, demonstrated through their active participation in rallies and signing petitions, David finds himself reconsidering his options. Ephraim, seizing the opportunity, offers David a job in his arms dealing business. Initially, David is reluctant. However, David capitulates. Swayed by Ephraim's reasoning, David tells her they are selling bedsheets to the army, not weapons. Iz, unaware of the truth, fully supports this venture. Over the next 6 weeks, David immerses himself in the world of arms dealing. He spends his days scouring the government's website for overlooked contracts and communicating with weapon manufacturers in Eastern Europe. In this murky world, David and Ephraim are labeled war dogs, opportunists who profit from conflict without ever experiencing the horrors of war firsthand. Ephraim's silent partner in the business is Ralph, a local businessman owning several dry cleaners across Miami. Ralph provides the necessary funding in exchange for what he believes is a 25% share of the company. A seemingly routine night out at a bar takes a turn when Ephraim gets into an altercation, leading them to a diner. There, they receive a call, confirming they have secured the Beretta deal, a contract to supply thousands of Beretta pistols to the Iraqi police in Baghdad. As David and Iz attend a doctor's appointment for an ultrasound, they happily discover they're expecting a girl. However, this moment of joy is interrupted when David receives an urgent call from Captain Santos. Santos informs David of a new legislation banning arms shipments to Iraq from Italy, jeopardizing their Beretta deal. Unaware of this development, David assures Santos they have everything under control, despite the contrary. Ephraim devises a solution to bypass the new law. They will reroute the shipment through Jordan, a country not restricted by the legislation, and then into Iraq. Their plan, however, hits a snag when Jordanian customs seize their shipment, and Captain Santos threatens to blacklist their company if they fail to deliver. That evening, during a dinner party with Iz's friends, David learns more unsettling news about Ephraim's past dealings with his uncle. Ephraim crashes the party, feeling left out, and urgently pulls David aside to inform him of the seized shipment. Iz overhears their conversation and is devastated to learn the truth about David's occupation. She expresses her mistrust and disappointment, leaving their relationship strained. With no time to address Iz's concerns, David and Ephraim rush to Jordan. There, they face bureaucratic hurdles at the embassy and resort to bribing local officials to release their cargo. They then hire a driver known as Marlboro, reputed to be the best smuggler in the country, to transport the guns to Iraq. Despite David's concerns for their safety, Ephraim assures him that the journey will be quick and straightforward. However, as they embark on this risky venture, the gravity of their situation and the moral complexities of their business become increasingly apparent. The narrative takes a dramatic turn as David and Ephraim find themselves in an increasingly perilous situation. Here, their driver, Marlborough, skillfully bribes the border patrols with cigarettes, claiming that's their cargo, allowing them to cross without any complications. Exhausted from the tense situation, David and Ephraim fall asleep, only to awaken at an abandoned gas station. As Marlborough refuels and Ephraim takes a break, David receives a call from his wife, Iz. She expresses understanding of the immense pressure he's under and why he's taken on such a risky job. She asks for his honesty going forward, which David agrees to, still hiding the true nature of his work. Their conversation is cut short when David spots a group of armed insurgents approaching. He quickly warns Ephraim, and they hurriedly drive off, leaving Marlborough to chase after the truck with the gas can. Despite being shot at by the insurgents, the trio is saved by the sudden arrival of the American army, who drive the insurgents away. They reach the military base unscathed, impressing Captain Santos with their survival through the Triangle of Death. After documenting their success with selfies and receiving payment, they are escorted to the airport by soldiers for a safe departure from Baghdad. Back in Miami, the successful deal has not only brought in substantial profits, but also put their company, AEY, on the map. The newfound wealth allows David and Ephraim to indulge in luxuries like matching Porsches, apartments in the same building, and even burning the unsold bedsheets. Ralph, pleased with his returns, increases his investments, enabling AEY to expand further. They hire employees to find more deals, giving David more time to spend with his newborn baby. However, Ephraim's behavior becomes increasingly erratic. One night, David learns of a massive opportunity, the Afghan deal, involving 100 million rounds of AK-47 ammunition. They travel to a convention in Nevada, hoping to network with manufacturers, but the logistical nightmare of coordinating such a large order with multiple suppliers from around the world proves too daunting. While trying to distract himself at a casino, David is approached by Henry, an infamous arms dealer. Ephraim and David meet with Henry, who reveals he can fulfill the entire order through contacts in Albania, a country laden with unused weapons from decades of preparation for a war that never came. Despite Henry being on a terror watch list, Ephraim convinces a reluctant David to proceed with the deal. In Albania, they meet Bishkim, their driver, and confirm the quality of the ammunition in a warehouse. Returning to Miami, they place their bid, and after a tense 5-month wait, win the deal. The government requires vetting of their company, so David and Ephraim hastily forge the necessary paperwork. At a meeting with military procurement officers, they nervously smoke potent marijuana beforehand, but manage to get their paperwork approved. Ephraim is infuriated to learn they could have charged significantly more. Upon returning home, David's relationship with Iz deteriorates. She discovers pictures of David in Iraq and confronts him about his lies. Further enraged upon finding hidden bags of money, Iz leaves with their baby. Before departing for Albania, Ephraim gifts David a gold grenade as a token of appreciation, and David presents a partnership agreement, which they both sign, though Ephraim seems uneasy about it. In Albania, David faces a new dilemma. The bullets are of Chinese origin, making them illegal due to a US embargo. Henry washes his hands of the problem, leaving David stranded in Albania, scrambling to find new suppliers. Ephraim arrives with a risky plan: to repackage the bullets in nondescript boxes, concealing their origin. Despite the illegality, the lucrative potential of the deal tempts them to proceed. In Albania, they are introduced to Enver by their driver, Bashkim. Enver owns a packing company and is enlisted to help them lighten their cargo, though they withhold the truth about the Chinese origins of their ammunition. For a mere $100,000, a fraction of their potential profit, Enver agrees to repack the ammo, setting them up to make an additional $3 million. After a while, David and Ephraim successfully deliver the first 5 million rounds to the Afghan army, marking a significant milestone in their operation. During Christmas, Iz permits David a brief video call with their baby, a fleeting moment of joy amidst his chaotic life. However, the situation quickly sours as Ephraim informs David that Henry has excessively marked up their costs, and he plans to cut Henry out of the deal. David, worried about the repercussions of crossing a dangerous man like Henry and aware of the substantial profits at stake, urges Ephraim not to act rashly. He expresses his frustration at feeling more like an overworked employee than a partner as he toils in Albania while Ephraim remains in the comfort of the USA. Ephraim reassures David, but secretly takes the signed partnership agreement from David's desk. The new year brings more trouble for David. He is kidnapped and brutally beaten by thugs under Henry's orders, who warn him against cutting Henry out of the deal. Frightened, David decides to return to Miami, but finds out from Enver that he has not been paid for the repacking job. Furthermore, Bashkim has mysteriously disappeared. Distraught and disillusioned, David resolves never to return to Albania. Back in Miami, David confesses his illegal activities to Iz, who reconciles with him when he vows to quit the arms business and resume his career as a massage therapist. David confronts Ephraim about his share of the deal, but Ephraim refuses to pay, revealing that he has destroyed their partnership agreement. In a fit of anger, David throws a gold grenade at Ephraim's office window and leaves. 3 months later, David has returned to his massage therapy practice. Ralph approaches him, relaying that Ephraim regrets their fallout and wishes to offer David $200,000 as compensation. David, enraged, reveals all their illegal activities to Ralph and threatens to expose Ephraim with the evidence on his laptop. Ephraim, unfazed, points out that exposing him would also implicate David, as his name is on all the paperwork. The situation escalates when David receives a call from the New York Times about the repacked Chinese ammunition. He denies any knowledge, but the call signals that their operations might be under scrutiny. Shortly after, David and Ephraim are arrested by the FBI. It turns out their downfall was precipitated by their failure to pay Enver, who reported them to the Pentagon. Ralph, caught in a sting operation, cooperates with the authorities, recording their confessions at the Dyna meeting. Ephraim faces over 70 federal crimes and receives a 4-year prison sentence, while David pleads guilty and is sentenced to 7 months of house arrest. AEY is barred from federal contracts until 2022. After serving his sentence, David resumes his massage therapy career and is startled to find Henry as his client. Henry assures David of his safety, expressing gratitude for not being implicated in David's testimony. Curious, David inquires about their fateful meeting and Bashkim's fate, but Henry evades the questions, offering David a suitcase full of money to stop probing. The movie concludes with this unresolved tension, showcasing the moral complexities and consequences of the illegal arms trade and the blurry lines between right and wrong in the pursuit of wealth. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.